Koreans around, I get very nervous because I want them to think that what I do is professional as opposed to just the noise.
Well, he's a grown-up, too.
No, I know because Arian's a grown up, but he also sees a side of me when we're playing the golf together where it's just nonsense nonstop. And then
I wish
here
you could
we
be
are.
like that all the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's our pleasure to present another episode of Mike Kazarian, broker, owner of Lender's Choice Mortgage, independently owned and operated member of the Mortgage Alliance, license number 13582. And today, hello, Michael. How's your shoulder, by the way?
Well, I talked to the surgeon yesterday. We're going to postpone the surgery, I think, until October so that I can play golf this summer because I know I'm going to be miserable if I don't play golf.
Yeah, man, that's a great call.
Geez.
That's a great call.
So he assured you can't do any further damage, I would hope, Mike.
He said the only thing that you can do further damage is time. And so if I waited 4 years to get the surgery, then that would do more damage. But playing golf, he says, isn't going to do anything.
Oh, you must have just been thrilled to hear that news. Oh.
Yeah, I couldn't wait for my wife to get home just so I could tell her.
I won't be seeing you this summer.
That's right. I was on a chat the other day with Mike. There was some stuff. I sort of looked at it late, I think, after somebody was asking us a question. And Mike cleared it up for this person. And I was going to ask you about your shoulder, but I didn't want to make you sad in case it was like bad news, can't golf. But now, so when will I be seeing the debut of the 2024 Kazarian golf game?
I'm not sure. I got to reinstate my membership, but I saw that you were the champion of the Hustlers on Saturday. So, like,
really?
I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Yeah, if you'd have been there, I'd have played better. I did okay, though. Let's talk about something. I mentioned this yesterday. I'm not sure how much attention you pay when we're doing your spots, but there was some interesting information that came out about employment data from Stats Canada and how people in the markets are now pricing in an 80% chance of the Bank of Canada cutting interest rates in June after some stuff that was driving the market. So when you hear something like that interest rates, there's a good chance they'll be cutting, how does that affect when you do mortgages for people?
Well, look, I think there's been a lot of noise in the headlines for like the last year. So, they're saying interest rates are coming down in 2024. So, I take everything with a grain of salt, but to answer your question, I think when rates do start to come down, we're going to see housing prices go up. There's a lot of people sitting on the sidelines waiting to buy, and they're waiting for interest rates to go down to buy. And I just think, well, you're going to wait for the rates to come down, but prices are going to go up. So, you can't time the market, but I would say if you're going to buy, like maybe now's the time to get in and start looking at it because you're going to be competing with everybody else. There's going to be multiple offers on properties and you're going to pay more. So, so that's what I take on what's happening, I think, in the market. So, yeah.
And, and we got to remember, too, if interest rates come down, it'll be in increments. It won't be in one slash back to where they were. So you can't really drag your feet on that, as you say.
They are saying it's going to be gradual, but let's not talk about rates. I mean, we can talk about rates all day long. Like, I want to talk about a couple of things. Reverse mortgages. It's something we haven't talked about on this show. Do you guys know what a reverse mortgage is?
Absolutely. Take it away. I mean, I understand it in principle, but let's talk about it in terms of people's, access to their money.
Yeah, look, if you're older, you're over 55, you have lots of equity in your home. Lenders will lend up to 55% of the equity. So let's just say you don't have any income. You don't have a job. You're on a pension. You're 65, 70 years old. You have lots of equity. You don't want to sell your house. So I look back, if my mom were still here, would I put my mom in a reverse mortgage? And I'd be absolutely. If you want to stay in your home, you want to access the equity, you can take a lump sum out, you can take monthly draws to support your lifestyle. And at the end, when you pass or when you sell the home, that's when the lender gets paid out. So you make no payments whatsoever until you sell that home.
That's the key. You make no payments because, like a line of credit or something, you take the money, but you got to make payments. So a reverse mortgage, you make no payments. Now there's an interest rate, obviously, included in this. So the day you decide I want to sell, all that is calculated. And are they decent deals? Are they fair?
Well, I'm going to say the interest rates are obviously higher than what you would
Hmm.
get through a conventional, through a bank.
Right.
Um, but at the end of the day, you want to stay in your home and you don't care. Like maybe you don't have to leave money to kids or
Right.
whatever the case may be. So yeah, I'm going to say, is it fair? Like, look, again, nothing's for free. So you are
Of
paying for it,
course.
but
Yeah.
but you get to stay in your home. They only go up to 55% loan to value, so there's still going to be plenty of equity left typically. Again, it
Yes.
depends on how long you take that for, how long you
Right.
live.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask.
Hmm.
Like in typical, so if you're a 65 or 70-year-old person who thinks I can stay in my house realistically for 5 more years, but typically, how long are the terms of these mortgages or reverse mortgages?
There's no amortization. There's nothing.
Hmm.
So you make zero payments until you sell the house or until you die. So again, you stay in your home. So let's just say, Howard, you hit 75 years old and you're like, okay, well, we can qualify you up to 55% loan to value. So let's just say your home is worth $1 million and you've got no mortgage on it. You can take a $550,000 reverse mortgage. You don't have to take it all up front. You can take two, three, four, 5 grand a month, whatever you want to supplement your lifestyle.
Mm.
And the key part here, yes, you pay interest on it, but when you get that 550,000, it's tax free. You're not paying. It's not
Oh,
income.
so it doesn't become part of your income because
No.
it's something you already own.
Yes.
Yeah. So another good thing too is you have all that equity and you want to give some to your kids. You want to help them buy a house. So you
Hmm.
give them 100 grand, 200 grand, whatever it is. And then
Mm.
you can still take monthly draws if you want to. So, yeah,
Hmm.
reverse mortgages, something to think about
So
for
you wanted to
older.
talk about, you said there was a couple things you wanted to touch on. Reverse mortgages. What was the other thing?
I want to talk about self-employed individuals because we are all self-employed here, and we all know that, when we do our income taxes, we want to pay as little tax as possible, and we write off a lot of expenses. And for that, a lot of self-employed individuals aren't going to qualify through a bank because their income just won't support it based on stress test rates. So there are lenders out there, Alt A lenders, and or B lenders that will look at your income differently, and or they will look at higher debt service ratios than what the banks will do. So, yeah, I would say a lot of self-employed individuals, like I deal with a lot of dentists, doctors, lawyers. Again, they have, substantial revenue, but in terms of what they declare, um, it might be lower and not support their financial needs in terms of getting mortgages through the banks. So just keep that in mind.
Hmm.
And again, Howard, you and I talked about this, and we've all talked about this. Like, why use a mortgage broker? There's one reason to use a mortgage broker is that we have access to many different lenders.
That's right. Because a lot of the main institutions, right, if you're self-employed or whatever, they won't even speak to you. But there are people, as you say, that will.
Well, and
Yes.
part of
Yeah.
owning your own business for a lot of people, the
Hmm.
people you mentioned, and people like us, where you're able to use the business income for business, and your actual income may not qualify you for the amount of mortgage you need. But you said something there, and I've heard you say this before, but you called them like A and B lenders, or what does that mean?
So like an A lender would be the charter banks, CIBC, TD, RBC, credit unions. And then so on the Alt A side, there's lenders
Yeah,
like
Alte, yeah.
monoline. So monoline lenders like B2B, they're a bank, but they have programs that will look at higher debt service ratios. So if the banks will go up to 44% debt service ratio, these lenders will have like programs up to 60% debt service ratio or 65%. Again, you're going to pay a little bit higher interest rate, but there's an opportunity for you to get financing that you're not going to get through your own bank.
Well, great stuff as always. And as you say, there's so many reasons to use a mortgage broker. And we've been outlining some of them the last few months. And another good one today. A great, by the way, I happen to know a very fine mortgage broker. That's Mike Kazarian. At the very least, have a conversation with Mike. Mike at lenderschoice.ca or lenderschoice.ca to find out more about the company And Kazarian, we hope that Humble and Fred people are supporting you because you're the real deal. Plus, by the way, look how good his background looks. You were talking about that
very
other
nice.
dude, but look how,
Yes.
how sharp that is.
Oh, yes. I would love to
quite
work in that
something.
office. Mhm.
All right, Mikey, I'm glad I'll be, making nonsense with you again soon.
Thank you, guys. Can I just say one last thing, Howard?
Mhm.
Yeah, man.
We are hiring 8 mortgage agents. So if you're looking to become a mortgage agent or you want to change your brokerage, give me a shout as well.
What the hell's going on with you? Are you talking to me and Fred? Me and Fred will drop by, as long as we can do it from home and things.
Mhm.
If you need it, well, look, you guys have learned so much now. You guys could probably do
Oh, yeah.
mortgages for people.
Exactly.
So
All right, Kazarian. Mike
Thanks,
at
guys.
lenderschoice.ca. And glad you're going to be part of my summer again. All right, everybody. There
See
he
you,
is, Mike Kazarian. He's
thanks.
a good
Bye,
man.
Fred. Take
See
care,
you.
guys.
Peace.